So, if you've ever so much as touched Java, you know the drill, right? That first Hello World program. It's kind of like a rite of passage. But let's be real for a second. It's also famously cluttered. I mean, all that code just to print two words. Well, what if I told you that entire block of ceremony could be crushed down to just two simple lines? Yeah, you heard that right. Let's dig in and see how.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big why, the Hello World problem itself. Then we'll check out Java's new solution, this on-ramp they've built. After that, we'll see the magic happen, code without all the clutter. We'll see how that simple code can grow up into a big program. And finally, we'll ask the big question, is this a more welcoming Java?
Okay, let's kick things off with the problem itself. Why on earth does Java even need a change like this? Well, it all boils down to that very first step, a step that for a lot of people feels more like a giant leap. And there it is, the classic. You've probably typed this out a million times. For decades, this has been the front door to Java. But seriously, just look at it for a second. To print one simple sentence, you're immediately smacked in the face with words like public, class, static, void, string args, args. It's a whole lot to swallow before you even know what a variable is.
Now, the Java architects have a name for all this extra stuff: ceremony. And don't get me wrong, every single piece here, encapsulation, the class model, interfacing with the shell, it's all incredibly powerful stuff for building massive, complex applications, programming in the large. But for a beginner, public static is just magic words. It's an incantation you're forced to memorize. And we've all been there, right? The instructor says, just type this, don't worry about what it means, you'll get it later. And that's just not a great way to learn.
And that right there, that nails the core problem, doesn't it? Java's greatest strength, the very thing that makes it a beast for building huge enterprise-level systems, is also its biggest weakness for newcomers. It creates this super steep learning curve. It forces you to deal with concepts for programming in the large when all you really want to do is just, print something to the screen. You just want to program in the small. So that brings us to the solution. Enter JEP 477, which is all about creating a brand new, much friendlier on-ramp into the world of Java. And I absolutely love this quote from the JP itself, because it's the perfect metaphor. The whole idea here isn't to create some separate easy mode Java. No way. The goal is to build a smooth on-ramp, a gradual incline that lets you get comfortable with the basics before you have to merge onto the super highway of object-oriented programming. And let's be really clear about the goals here, because they're super important. It's all about offering that smooth on-ramp, helping students, and honestly, anyone writing a quick utility script, to be more concise. But pay close attention to those last 2 points. This is not a new dialect of Java. Use the same compiler, the same tools. It is, through and through, 100% Java. And just to prove this isn't some half-baked idea they threw in overnight, this is actually the third preview of this feature. It's coming in JDK 23, and it's already been through rounds of feedback and refinement since JDK 21. That shows you just how carefully they're trying to build this thing, making sure it fits perfectly without breaking anything. All right, enough with the theory. That's all great, but what does this code actually look like? Let's get to the good part and see the transformation of Hello World for ourselves. So how does the magic work? Well, it's not actually magic. It's 4 key changes all working together in concert. We've got instance main methods, implicitly declared classes, automatic I/O imports, and automatic imports from the core java.base package. Let's break down how each one of these strips away another layer of that annoying clutter. Okay, first up, the main method itself. Forget public static void main. The Java launcher is now smart enough to call a regular instance main method. This is a game changer because you don't have to explain that confusing static keyword on day one. And hey, if you're not using command line arguments, you can just drop string args completely. Poof, gone. So much cleaner. Next up is the really big one. You can now write a file that just has a method in it, no class declaration wrapping it. The compiler basically looks at that and says, hey, no prob, I gotcha. I'll just create a class for you behind the scenes. And just like that, the whole class Hello World ceremony, it just vanishes. So what exactly is this implicitly declared class? Well, under the hood, it's not magic. The compiler is still doing the work. It's creating a totally normal standard Java class. It's a final class, it lives in what's called the unnamed package, and it contains your main method. all the rules are being followed, you just don't have to type all that boilerplate anymore. The compiler handles it. All right, simplification number 3. This one tackles another classic point of confusion. System.out.println. I mean, what even is system? And what's out? And why are there dots? For a beginner, it's just bizarre. Well, now, in these simple programs, you can forget all that. You just call println directly. And the way this works is through a new little helper class called java.io.io. The Java platform now provides these simple, ready-to-go methods like println and print. And check this out. There's even a read line for easily getting input from the user, which used to be a huge pain. The best part? They're all automatically available. No imports required. They're just there. So after all of that, after stripping away the static, the class, and the system out, here's what we're left with. This is it. This is the new Hello World in Java. Just 2 simple, totally intuitive lines of code. It feels like a script, right? But make no mistake, that is pure modern Java. This is the new welcome mat for the language. But, okay, let's go back to that on-ramp metaphor. The whole point of an on-ramp is to eventually get on the highway, right? You're not supposed to stay in the slow lane forever. So let's see how this simple, clean code can gracefully grow up into a full-blown Java application. So take a look at this program. It's a little more involved. We're creating a list, we're looping through it, we're calling the length method. But wait a second, where are the import statements? There aren't any. And that's that 4th key change I mentioned. All the public classes from Java's core Java-based module, think list, string, math, all the essentials, are now automatically available. They're just there, ready for you to use. Okay, so now your little script needs to grow up. It needs to become part of a larger system. What do? It's actually super simple. You just do exactly what the compiler was doing for you behind the scenes. You wrap your code in a proper class declaration, and you add the import statements that were previously automatic. And this is the most important part of the whole thing. Look at the core logic, the for loop, the print line. It didn't change, not one bit. You're not rewriting your code. You're just adding the formal structure around it as your program's needs grow. This is the seamless path. This is proof that the on-ramp idea really, really works. It's not a dead end. It's a starting point. All right, so let's pull back for a second and look at the big picture. After all this, is Java really becoming more welcoming? What does this all mean for the future of the language?
You know, it's pretty interesting to see that the designers didn't just pull this idea out of a hat. They looked at other options. Like, why not just use JShell? Well, that's more for quick experiments, and it doesn't really teach you how to write a proper program. They also thought about ditching the main method completely, like some other languages have. But that opens up a whole other can of worms about what's a local variable versus a field. In the end, this on-ramp approach was chosen because it was the one that provided the smoothest, most logical path from beginner to pro.
Which really just leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? The architects of Java have been crystal clear. This is an on-ramp, not a separate dialect. And they've built this beautiful, graceful path for your code to grow. But will this fundamentally change how people see and learn Java for the first time? Is this that brilliant, welcoming on-ramp that makes the language more accessible than ever before? Or does it run the risk of creating a new divide, a split between simple Java and real Java? I guess only time will tell.